Welcome to TWIOCH's fun discussion corner where we talk about things. This week's topic is we're talking about video game protagonists that are weak or underpowered, because a lot of video games are simply kind of a power fantasy. You get to be Kratos and you can rip a god's eyeballs out and punch him in the neck and use their head as a it's all these really big powerful characters, and that's a lot of what video games are and have been. So I really appreciate when there's a character who is in a difficult situation, because like this is not talking about games that don't have combat, that don't have whatever, but like when they make the effort to invest you in a character that is in a scary situation and they don't give you the power that you need. Because like Journey wouldn't really be on this list, because the protagonist in Journey doesn't really, I mean, the Scarf Eaters, okay, like those are there, but like the main game is kind of an emotional pull.
Yes.
So like the first one that came to mind is an Eco. Like you were going through and like there's these big monsters, but like a lot of times the best solution is just to run.
Yeah. You stole mine. Yeah. Eco was mine. To do that, and there's the whole helpless bit of like essentially being a very long what's it called? Not companion quest, but escort mission. It's a long escort mission.
Yeah.
But it's done very well, and the game isn't about, it isn't about being powerful, it's about surviving.
Yeah.
I think that this quasi goes into this, but the original Dead Rising, not the sequels. The original Dead Rising, you have a photographer who is thrown in, and you end up, kind of doing some great stuff in there, but it's about his survival in that, and he isn't a super cop. He isn't a ex-CIA. He doesn't have magic powers. Right. So I think that's cool as a setup. We had some people on Facebook actually write in as well. So Andrew Jacobs, our good friend, mentioned in here that Zidane from Final Fantasy IX, because he wasn't sure if it was counted. I think it counts. Final Fantasy.
I'll allow it.
Your protagonists in Final Fantasy are pretty much your party.
Right.
So I'll allow this. But specifically being a thief instead of the usual knight and sword wielder, he enjoyed. It is a change, because you haven't played that as a different tactic.
Yeah.
And he also mentioned Jade from Beyond Good and Evil, and Sigourney also mentioned that as well. Hey, Sigourney. But that's an interesting one, because again you're playing a character who doesn't have powers, and the photography bit of the game, and her point is not to destroy things and do things. I would say the recent Tomb Raider remakes, at least the first one, where you have a woman who, she wants to be, to discover things, like as an archaeologist. Right. And archaeologists aren't Indiana Jones style. Archaeologists, get chartered over to a place that they help, they dig up things, and that's it. And she's thrown into a situation where she has trouble defending herself, surviving, and it's about her perseverance and able to do that. So it's a great character arc, because she ends up being completely bamf, but she starts out, she's just a normal person, and it's her inner drive that lets her do that.
Because she becomes the bamf and it becomes the power fantasy, I'm going to disallow that. I'm going to go over to an entire genre that does this really well. Is horror. Alien Isolation.
Oh yeah.
You can't kill that thing.
Nope.
You should not even try. It will eat you. It will chomp you. It will continue to chomp and chomp and chomp. And like you're supposed to be scared, because you don't have the weaponry. You don't have the arsenal to take this thing on. Slender Man. Because that is just going to kill you.
Five Nights at Freddy's.
There's nothing you can do about it, and you have to just hide and cower. And those are really interesting. Those last two, I am going to, like, you're not really playing a character who's developed so much.
Five Nights?
With Five Nights and
Slenderman.
And Slenderman.
Yeah, you're not.
So I really like the characters that are developed in that fashion.
Sure. Because Five Nights is more about discovering the mystery of what happened, even though the game's not about that.
Yeah.
There's some great lore. Check out Game Theory on that. There's some great lore in regards to Five Nights that is about the environment and what happened, but not about your character. Your character does not matter in those games.
Right. So. There's a couple of games that I was thinking of. A Boy and His Blob is a Nintendo classic that was remade fairly recently. Both of those versions are pretty good. I can only say up to a certain point because it got puzzly. I knew it was going to be puzzly, and then I quit.
Yeah.
But yeah, like your character is just this little boy who has the blob that you can feed jelly beans. And it turns into stuff, but like it doesn't turn into a sword or a flamethrower or anything. It's like, I'm a ladder now. You can climb me. And so like even your assistant, your I mean, I don't know if you found like a fireball jelly bean, maybe you'd be able to make him powerful. But like even your assistant is not particularly powerful. And then the other one is Captain Nemo in Dreamland.
Yeah,
which. I know this is a deep cut.
Yeah, it is.
But yeah, Captain Nemo in Dreamland, you were told that the princess has chosen you and she wants you to help her, and again, your weapon is candy, and all that you get to do for this is you can feed candy to a creature until it goes, and then you ride it. And then the creature has abilities like able to stomp and do these kind of things. Yeah. But like for the most part, you're just trying to avoid enemies in this game.
I think I would also put on there, no, I'm not being serious, but the NES Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Because you're not any more powerful as Mr. Hyde than you are Dr. Jekyll.
Well, I'll allow that because that game is broken as all hell, and so you never get any power because the game just wants to kill you and annihilate you.
Yes.
But yeah, like you were talking earlier about Tomb Raider, like a lot of games kind of start out like that. Yeah. Simon Belmont in the opening half hour of Castlevania. Like you're just this little guy. Get away from me, skeletons! I don't want to.
Yeah.
I also like when they strip away your powers in certain areas, like in Ocarina of Time, when you're trying to sneak through, and if the guards see you, you're caught.
Yes.
Like those type of stealth sessions. Yes, it is frustrating to have kind of an instant fail mechanic.
Yeah.
That's annoying, but at the same time, it is creative and it allows you to do a different style of gameplay within this power fantasy, and I like that.
And I think it worked really well with Ocarina of Time because Link is brave, but when he is stopped by that authoritarian figure that tells him he's a child.
Yeah.
So he's stopped by an authoritarian guard, castle guard, who says, "Hey, you're not supposed to be here.
You can't be here."
And he goes, "Oh man," even though he fights all these monsters, but it's that adult authority, and that stays with him as an adult because he's a child in an adult's body.
Yeah. So those are the ones we came up with. I also I need to make a correction for our previous conversation. Last week we talked about video game soundtracks. We neglected to mention Donkey Kong Country 1 and 2. Those are so good, and they're just beautiful.
They're great, and if you haven't checked out Keeper First on YouTube, I'll tweet out something on him as well. He does. I don't know if you've seen him. He does. He is a pianist that plays a lot of ragtime, but he plays blind, as in you give him a sheet of music and he just goes, "Okay, let's do it," and
that's cool.
Plays. He's that good at sight reading, and it takes maybe 15 to 20 seconds of a real quick look at whatever he's playing. So I don't know if it's his son or someone else that's in the piano community, keeps charting out video game music for him. Even Nyan Cat, they chart that out for him, and he's like, and they're describing, oh yeah, it's a cat with the body of a Pop-Tart that shoots through the sky with a rainbow, and he almost does a spit take. He's like, what are you talking about?
As a game, don't worry about it.
So I'll tweet that out to you guys. You'll enjoy it. thank you for watching This Week in Our Collective Heads and all the other cool content we've got here. If you like that, subscribe and see stuff like this or different than this, but you'll like it. I promise.
Yes, we only give you the best quality content. We're nerds and we branch out into all areas, so we will pull from movies, from books, from all these different things that we experience and associate it with and put it next to video games. Video games are our main passion. Oh, yeah. And if it's yours, like us and message us. Talk to us. Yeah. Hit us up on Twitch. Hit us up on Twitter. Hit us up on Facebook.
Everything.
YouTube. Talk to us wherever.
We
TWIOCH. Don't have a lot of friends.
And we're TWIOCH everywhere, so it's easy to remember. Except for Twitch, which doesn't make sense.
Twitch
TWIOCH gaming there. But go check us out, and we love you.
Thank you.